There's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of things going on. What we do is very precise. The end product might seem simple, but the process to make it is not. 70 years worth of accrued experience. Quality first isn't just a saying that's painted on the wall. It's the guiding principle that affects every decision that we make. We are a manufacturer of bullets, brass, ammunition, and rifles. The story actually begins in 1946 when John A. Nosler, our founder, went on a moose hunt in British Columbia. He came across a big bull moose at close range, shot the moose, fully expecting it to go down, and it didn't. He ended up having to shoot it several times before he finally anchored that moose. The high velocity of the cartridge he was using and the close range that he was at was putting too much stress on those bullets. It was a simple cup and core bullet of the day. He came away from that hunt with the desire to create a better hunting bullet. He came up with the idea for the partition bullet with separate front and rear lead cores. And so the next year, he went back to British Columbia, and the rest is history. The moose that wouldn't go down, he's out there watching over the production floor, kind of like think he's making sure, you know, everybody's making good bullets. When most people think of a bullet, they are actually thinking of a cartridge, because most people say bullet and they imagine loaded ammunition. When you're talking about the bullet, which is just the projectile, which is the majority of what we make, most people probably assume it's just a simple chunk of lead with a copper jacket around it. They would have been right 100 years ago. So there's two different processes we use to make bullets here at Nosler. There's the cup and draw process, and there's the impact extrusion process. With the cup and draw process, you're gonna start out with a thin copper ribbon or strip. You're gonna punch out a disc and then draw that out into the jacket. You're gonna insert a lead core, and you're gonna have a finished bullet. The advantage of this process is very efficient. Raw materials go in, finished bullets come out. The disadvantage is you can't make the jacket any thicker than the material that you start out with. But for a hunting bullet, you're going to want to use the impact extrusion process. Start out with this solid copper wire to make the jackets of the bullet. End up with a slug, and that's what we're going to use to make the jacket of the bullet. As that punch forces that slug, and ultimately the jacket, that soft piece of copper has no choice but to conform to the shape of the punch in the die. The finish press is then going to insert the lead core. We're going to form the nose of the bullet. We're going to insert a tip and then have a finished bullet. The advantage of this is what allows us to engineer the terminal performance into our hunting bullets. This is what allows us to make a bullet such as the partition, AccuBond, ballistic tip, our E-tip bullet. This is where we're going to make the lead wire that will become the core of the bullet. So we're going to start out with this lead billet right here. It's about 70 pounds of lead. You'll load it into the hydraulic ram over there. It's going to just use brute force to shove that lead through a die and make the lead wire. It's going to go onto a spool that's ultimately going to become the core of the lead core bullet. Yeah, there's really a lot that goes into bullet manufacturing that most people don't get to see because they're not here or they don't come on our plant tour. So this is shear and bump, where we're going to take this copper wire and chop it into these copper slugs. These slugs are going to become the jacket of the bullet. There's just a lot that goes into the design of the jacket. Really, that's what sets us apart, is the amount of engineering that goes into the jacket itself. This is our annealing room. So So those slugs after shear and bump are too hard, they're too brittle to draw out into a jacket. So we're gonna bake them in an oven about 1275 degrees for about 30 or 40 minutes. Gonna make that slug soft again so we can draw it out into a bullet jacket. So this press is gonna make the jacket for the bullet. So we're gonna go from this slug to a finished jacket. And slugs back here, and come down, be fed in, and those punches and dies are gonna shape that slug into this jacket. You're gonna have finished jackets coming out down here. So this is halfway there. This is how you make the jacket for an impact extruded bullet. With our impact extrusion process and our ability to control the thickness of the jacket all along the length of the bullet, that gives us the ability to design those purpose-built bullets that are specific to a certain application. This is where we're gonna complete the bullet by adding a lead core and a polymer tip to the jacket that we made on the other side. We've got the jacket here that we made on the jacket press. We're gonna load those into the press here. Then over here, we've got the lead core being inserted into the jacket. Then it's gonna be tamped into the jacket. Gonna make a solid friction fit between the core and the jacket. Then the bullet's gonna flip over right here. We're gonna insert the polymer tip, form the nose, and you end up with a completed bullet. Yeah, there is a lot that goes into designing and constructing a bullet. You've got different parts and pieces that have to be combined together very precisely so that they're not only balanced and accurate, but so that they perform well. So this is our tumbling area. This is where we're gonna polish the bullets to a jewelry grade finish, make them really shiny and beautiful. So this is where we're gonna visually inspect each and every bullet that we make here at Nosler. Any little imperfection in that bullet, she's gonna be able to see and separate those out. Now, anything that would affect the performance of the bullet, those are gonna get separated out, those are gonna be scrapped. Any kind of minor cosmetic blemish, say a little scratch or discoloration, a water spot, those will separate out and we'll sell them as blems. All throughout the process, there's quality checks every step of the way. So this is our testing range. We've got a 100-yard long range here underground. So this is where we're gonna test all of our bullets for accuracy. We're gonna shoot them through a test barrel here, looking at group size, velocity, pressure, making sure everything is within spec so that we know that those bullets are perfect before we ship them out to our customers. How many rounds do you think you shoot like on an average day, Chris?
Maybe 300-400.
Here in our case manufacturing plant, we manufacture the cartridge cases that end up in our loaded ammunition, as well as our box component brass for hand loaders. Some people really understand the differences in bullet construction and what separates us from others or why our bullets are so reliable. Other people don't understand as well, but they know that we've done our homework and that we've designed the performance into the product. We know how much time and effort is invested into a hunt. Everything that goes into that moment, we think about that every single day for every bullet that we make. And there's a lot of thought and engineering and testing that goes into designing those bullets so that we know exactly what they're gonna do every single time. Quality first comes down to the fact that the Nosler name is on the box of every product that we make.